Well, Argyle extended their home unbeaten run to 4 matches on Saturday. However, there was a feeling coming away from home park that it was maybe a missed opportunity. Another comeback for Argyle, a first goal for Mohamed Tijani, and I suppose not losing ground against a side that are around them in the table. But Cardiff playing for 10 men for most of that second half was a real opportunity for Argyle to make it 3 home wins in a row. It wasn't to be, and they are still well and truly in the fight. This is Argyle Analysis, and once again, or as always, I'm joined by Aaron Cusack to talk through everything that happened on Saturday. How are you feeling after the game? Are you seeing it as many people have kind of discussed, maybe a slight missed opportunity?
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement, Charlie. I think in the context of the game, with Cardiff losing a man early in the second half, not being able to go on and capitalise and get the 3 points, perhaps it did feel that 2 were dropped as opposed to a point gained. If you compare the Luton game to the one on Saturday, I think perhaps Luton was a point gained, whereas perhaps Saturday was 2 dropped.
Miro Muslic used the word hectic after the game whilst talking to the media. And we've seen 2 games really in a row against Luton and Cardiff which have felt like that. And I wonder whether just playing in games against sides that are near you, knowing how important it is to not lose that game, maybe creates what we've seen in the last 90 minutes.
Spot on, I think it does. I think the fact that you can't afford to give points away to your biggest rivals means you err on the side of caution. And at times on Saturday it felt frantic because it was a feeling of get the ball away from our goal, because the further it is away from our goal, the less likely we are to concede. And that returned an element of frustration, especially in the first half. So I can understand the mindset, and I can understand the caution that runs through the players as well. If we play a mid-table team, perhaps you feel a little bit more positive about taking it to them. But like I've already said, you don't want to lose ground on the teams that are your biggest rivals.
Yeah, and Cardiff, are one of those. They're 3 points clear of Argyle still, with a game to come in midweek. Let's have a look at the goals, shall we? Because Cardiff, they started the game really well.
They were on the front foot, and Bundu just lost control of the ball there, and Puac's a little bit unlucky with that kind of coming together. And Will Alves, who I thought was really bright for them, I think he's on loan from Leicester, really bright. Ruben Colwell just got his body in the way. He's just put a ball dangerously into that area, and it's Salak at the back stick. Just sticking it in, and you'd argue that they deserved to go in front. I thought we rallied quite well in the second half, and this is a lovely combination between Bundu and Tijani, and it's nice to see him get his first goal. It's a direct style, but it was purposeful, and I felt second half the team rallied a lot better. We made a couple of changes, and we looked more settled. What we did see in the second half was players take more risks, which returned the equaliser. And a change in personnel and a change in structure slightly did return some good points. And that would have been perhaps Muslic going, look, let's take a bit more of a risk. Let's put a little bit more faith in yourselves to play forward and see how, what could be returned.
Yeah, that changed that risk. Barley Mumba coming
Absolutely.
on the break.
He's been waiting patiently, hasn't he? He's not had as much game time as he would have liked. For me, Charlie, I think he was played in his most potent position. I really think he's got lots to offer as like a number 10 or an 8, call it what you may, where he can drive forward. But this is the scenario of what we mean about being higher. So we've got Such on the left-hand side of the screen and Barley Mumba on the halfway line. But as a pair, they were a lot higher. And when you get a lot higher, you force opposition teams to go deeper. So what's Such? Such is going to make an overlap in a moment when Barley Mumba gets the ball. So that will occupy O'Dowda, who is the left back for Cardiff. So that means it gives room for Barley Mumba to do what he does best, which is carry the ball forward. And you carry with intent. So watch this moment here. Watch Such. Such is just going to run. So he's occupying O'Dowda. He's allowed now to play out to Mumba. But look, we've now got 5 or 6 players 25 yards from goal, which is a lot more positive, a lot higher up the pitch. We're not thinking about what if we give the ball away. Rands puts a decent ball in and it just kind of deflects towards Mumba. He doesn't get it on this occasion. But what was that, 3 or 4 minutes into the second half? So there would have been a message at half-time to change the mindset. But I really like it when players who are slightly deeper run ahead of the ball. And here's a moment. So Bundu, I think, wins the flick on. It falls to El Hadj. Look at the run of Barley Mumba. He's going to break that line. It invites a pass from El Hadj and it leads to the sending off.
A big moment in the game.
A massive moment in the game, So that was a big moment and, we can see the ball coming through again. Barley Mumba running at full speed, which is what he does. He does really well to draw the foul. He just steps across the line of the defender. But look at the difference here. So you've got a scenario. This is Matti Saranola who came on. So rather than Matti Saranola dropping towards the halfway line to keep your defensive structure, by staying high and out the way, it locks O'Dowda, the Cardiff left back, to him. What does that do in return? Well, it invites Such to then drive into the space that's in front of him. So you get up the pitch. Now we got Barley Mumba to get on the ball and he can drive with intent. O'Dowda and the opposite Cardiff centre-back are locked with Bundu and Sorinola. Bundu can now put a delicious ball into that red zone, which Mumba continues his run by running ahead of the ball. And that would have been a terrific goal, like a brilliant header. So Mumba had a massive impact, but so did the structure. We were a lot higher. And, this is the equaliser. So now, look, you've got more players on the highest line. So the argument of Cardiff will be, is there a threat on the ball? No. Is there a threat in behind? Yes. What do they do to prepare? They prepare to drop. The players are now running along that back line. You get close enough together, a little brilliant knockdown and a terrific finish. So you could really see the difference Mumba's introduction made, but also how structurally they were a lot higher going towards their goal.